Jim asks, Jim says, how did you finally get back off the wall and climb out of the financial hole? I hate being in the hole, right? Well, how do you climb off the wall, back from the wall, and get out of the hole? And in other words, what's the straightest line to success in trading? And I've said this before, and I'm reminded of this constantly for myself. You first of all, you find something that works, and then you make $1 a week. Sounds absolutely friggin' bizarre. You make $1 a week. That's what you do to start. So we become like chickens.
No, we don't.
So they ask me, how is it that I can find a method to trade? As if there was some difficulty in finding a system for free all over the internet. I've got one on the homepage of my website. I'll link to it at the bottom of this video. You could go to YouTube and you could learn a system in a day, in 25 minutes. But people are obsessed with learning the Holy Grail or something from some guru or some guy who traded on Wall Street or some guy who used to trade for a hedge fund. This is a major impediment. Go on YouTube, find any video. Find any system. Link to the bottom on the YouTube video here. Learn a free system and then make $1 a week from that system. Once you make $1 a week from that system for 4 weeks in a row, you've learned that system. You now are a profitable trader, and it sounds so much more complicated when it's all playing in your head at the very beginning. The problem becomes over time that you're going to learn how to do like 45 different things reasonably well. And because you can do 45 things reasonably well, you're going to want to do them all, or you're going to switch back and forth between them, you're going to lose your focus, and that is exactly what happens to me. I learn something, I know how to do it, I move on to the next thing, I learn something, I move on to the next thing, I learn something, I move on to the next thing. And most of us, if we would just learn one thing and do it well, we would be able to not only identify the biggest opportunities that exist in the market, but we'd be able to take advantage of them because we wouldn't be thinking about doing something else. We spread ourselves too thin. We try to do too many things. When you stop trying to do so many things, when you focus and you just do one thing well, that's when major success happens. So then what happens? You're making $1 a week. That's not going to pay the bills. $1 a week isn't going to do the trick, is it? $1 a week isn't the point, though. $1 a week for 4 weeks proves that you can keep money in your account, you can stop trading when you're ahead, and you won't blow your account up. Then you go for another $1 or $2 a week for the next 4 weeks. And then at the end of those 4 weeks, you've now gone 8 weeks. You've made two. I don't know how much you've made. You've made some money, right? You've made $12 in 8 weeks. And if you can make $12 in 8 weeks, you're in the top 10% of all traders in the world, including hedge funds. That's right. You're now a profitable trader, and most people aren't a profitable trader. Now you might say, I can't pay the mortgage on $1 a week. Well, can you make the mortgage on whatever you're making right now with your trading? And if you are, then why are you even thinking about doing anything different? The whole point of asking that question in the first place is that you aren't successful already. If you can prove that you can make a small amount of money, you can scale up from there. But also, if you can prove that you can focus on something, you can scale up from that. That's the point. Earning the right to scale up, earning the right to trade with more comes from focus, comes from proving that you know how to focus, that you're willing to focus, and that you're willing to stop when you're ahead. That's my neighbor Gary. You know, you find traders in the most unlikely of places. Gary's long gold. He's loving it. But Gary's more than just a neighbor, and he's more than just someone who bought some gold. Gary's my friend. Gary's the man that I go talk to when life gets a little bit out of whack and I need some perspective. Gary's the person I talk to when something's broken and it needs to be fixed. And oftentimes that's just me, not necessarily something around my house. I appreciate Gary more than Gary probably knows, and he probably is not watching this video, so I can go ahead and say that without seeming odd. But I do really love this guy, and I'm really grateful that he's my neighbor. So what I'm doing here on Friday night is I'm thinking about resurrecting, bringing back to life this concept that I had a few years ago, this idea that when we make commitments, and we make those commitments publicly, and we make those commitments about the few things that matter most in our trading, it makes a huge difference. So I'm thinking about bringing back what I called, I used to call it the trader's contract, but it didn't work in the past for a particular reason. And that particular reason is it was too much to commit to over too long of a period of time. And so as I was sitting on the couch today listening to Sean Campbell's latest podcast and considering how things have gone in the last couple of weeks, basically over the last month now, I'm flat. I haven't made a dime. I haven't made any money trading in the last month. And I wouldn't call it panic mode, but I would say this is a time to reflect. If I'm not moving forward, there's a reason for it. And the reason always is I'm doing too many different things. I'm not doing any one of them very well. All right, you two.